was upside down and shaking all around. They see no end inside, I thought I was losing. I remember what you say, you've got a place for me. Protection from the storm, it's you I'm choosing. You've got a love so pure, it pulls me in for sure. It's all consuming. Your gentle lovingness washes away my mess. It proves you truly love the real me. Behold the beauty of the Lord. Oh, it washes me whiter than snow. Oh, this I know for sure. Your love, it makes me pure. Come wash over me and make me clean. Behold the beauty of the Lord. When I wanna run away, you gently reach for me. You set me up so high, I have no worries. You did not hide your face, did not turn me away. Of you, Lord, I will sing and tell my story. You've got a love so
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Try to catch me howling at the moon.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Recovery Unplugged Live. What's up, Amy?
Hey, we got some great guests tonight. We got Katie Novotny, and we got the return of Dr. Don, is it Menge?
Yes, Menge.
And also lots of stuff. My film recently at a French film festival won Best Narrative Feature, Best Director, Best Actress, and Best Drama. So that was exciting.
Good job. You going to France?
No.
What?
I am not flying out of this country.
Maybe they'll zoom you in.
And we have Branson coming up this week, where we're nominated for Best Cinematography, Best Lead Actress, Best Supporting Actress, Best Supporting Actor, and Best Score. And we have a chance to pitch Green Apple Entertainment, a couple of our, like the TV series based off that narrative feature, Letters to Daniel, which is about me and Missy and when I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And then we also are pitching a film called The Guardian Sacrifice. It is faith-based, but you see, it also tackles the issue of stigma within Western religion. So it's like, yes, I believe in God, but you know, there's this problem with institutionalized religion that is at odds with, right? So I'm like, but that's not what I'm going to say in the meeting, of course. I'm going to say something else. Until they give me the money to make the movie.
It's good we have a recorded version of how you really feel.
Yeah, and then I was offered a job, and I'm meeting with this producer, writer, to direct a movie with a $13 million budget.
Oh my gosh.
But I can't say the names on air because, right, you know how I do. But I just thought I'd drop that budget.
Yay. Wow.
Yeah. So, and I found out this week when I was talking to Dell, he said like 47% of all films at AOF are directed by women. And
wow.
And there's going to be 750 to 800 films screening there this year. So that's the Mega Fest that includes my festival and 14 other festivals. So if anybody has, I just say go and see what you fit into and submit. So that's what I did as a way to, I don't expect to win or even be nominated, but I wanted to support my fellow film festival directors and just have a chance for my film to screen live at a festival. So,
how is your festival coming?
how is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we have up to 6 distribution awards being handed out to the winning films. 2 of them have to be directed by women directors. 1 feature, 1 short. And it's not guaranteed, but it is like a first look deal kind of thing where they promise to review it and give it consideration and see if it's the right fit for their streaming company. G1NBC is offering up a feature, 1 feature and 1 short distribution also. And Saltflix is looking for inspirational or faith-based films that are like 1 feature and 1 short. So I have up to 6 to hand out. We also have, if you write screenplays, you might want to enter the screenwriting competition in my festival because Cindy Cowan, she didn't direct it, but Steven Soderbergh did, but she produced Traffic, and that got 3 Oscars, and she was nominated for Picture of the Year, and that's the one they do. She also produced If These Walls Could Speak, Very Bad Things, and just a ton of other things. Her bio should be up on my website shortly, but it was like, she's just amazing. She's like one of those super women in Hollywood, that paves the way for everybody who comes after her. She has offered my Screenwriter of the Year a 6-month mentorship. And so if you are a writer and you write screenplays, I suggest you get one in. so you can be considered for that, because that's a nice award. That's a nice contact to make. That's a nice.
And that's the Conquering Disabilities with Film International Film Festival.
Yes, it is.
Right on. All right.
And I think we should go ahead and do. Can you think of anything else we need to?
No, I don't think so. I think that's good. I think let's start with Katie's interview, and then we'll get Dawn.
Okay, let's dive into it. And if you have any questions, John, or some people who are might be online watching.
I'll pop in.
Okay. So Katie, your film was accepted into my festival called My Catholic Guilt, and it is new media feature film filmed all on an iPhone during the quarantine, and it is absolutely hilarious and riveting because it's so honest. And even though some of the things are painful, it's so funny how you deliver them with your truth, like almost with, like, in some of them you got that crazy eye thing going. That's just absolutely wonderful. So how did you conceive of this project?
That is a great question. But first off, people notice the crazy eyes. I have heard it multiple times, and I'm going to take it as a badge of honor moving forward. I think it's a part of my thing now, and I think I'm just going to lean in.
Yeah. Well, look, if I drink caffeine, I get major crazy eyes.
Yeah. But so the answer to your question is, I actually initially wanted to write this for a solo show on the stage. So there's a festival, or there was a festival, a solo festival in New York at the theater called The Pit, and it was all solo material, and I was finally ready to do it, I was like, I'm finally ready to write everything I want to write about and use my art the way I want it to be, why I want to be an artist and a performer. And obviously that's when COVID came and took us all on a nice little ride. And I ended up losing my job and moving back home to Chicago with my parents, technically Naperville, which is a suburb. And I was kind of like, I mean, what else am I going to do? Like, I might as well take this idea that I've been sitting on for years now and find a way to make it now. Like, how do I make it where I can still be productive and still write my art and do my thing and make it in a container where people can consume it, where it doesn't have to be staged. And I've done web series in the past and shorts, so like I have that experience, and I have also was an advertising copywriter for years. So I was like, I think I can figure out how to put all this together and keep people interested, you know?
I think my favorite part was whenever you take an intermission to go pee. It's like that is actually the title card. Katie goes pee, basically. Cracked me up. But anyway, continue.
Yeah. So basically, once I decided that I wanted to do that, that's when I reached out to my director, Leah, who has been like a mentor and idol for me for the last couple of years. She's absolutely brilliant. Her joke telling and her storytelling is so brilliant. And I was like, I want to work with someone I want to punch above my weight belt.
You want to punch up. Don't punch down. Punch up.
So I asked her, because her and I have had talks about religion and how and we're both very close with our families, and like being a comic and being close with your family, and also like still like kind of into religion and not like hardcore telling everyone to never go to church again. Like, it's not very common in the comic community. So her and I kind of did it in phases. We wrote down the outline, then I went and wrote the script and had her notes, and then we like broke it into like months into different acts. So we filmed Act 1 in October, Act 2 in November, 3 and 4 in December. And this is also, like, to your point of the like bipolar and depression and mental health, like this is also when I'm getting diagnosed with depression and like all my anxiety disorders and trying all these medicines and stuff like that. So that was like kind of the beginning, middle, and end of how it came to be.
Well, okay, now I'm responding. John gets on me for this. Person I had lunch with today, publisher of one of my books, said I had in our pitch deck, we had said what I sold of my book, and he's like, "You sold almost blah 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 blah." But okay, so when you finally sat down to, like you said, you did it in blocks. Okay, so once you have like what you feel is the final cut, how you said you learned iMovie and Filmora are just fantastic ways to cut your teeth on those things, because professional editing software is such a steep grade, such a steep learning curve. And like you said, you wanted to find a way to continue to do your art and do, punch up. And so I'm going to tell you, you did a really good job, because, iPhone movies can be a disaster.
Oh, yeah. So, I was very worried a lot of the time.
What was your favorite part of the experience?
I think so I have been a sketch improv performer for a very long time. I'm a very big collaborator. I love working with big teams. Like, I'm always kind of juggling a lot of different things with a lot of different people. And I think it can be a good and a bad thing, because sometimes I second guess what I can do on my own. And when I started doing stand-up, I started realizing like how I have this like skill set that without other people, like I thought I had to rely on a lot of other people for certain things. And I think what was the coolest part from start to finish was like, I think I learned more than I ever did about myself in so many ways. I learned about how my brain works. I learned about what my feelings are about stuff. And then I also like got confidence in my skills, because it was mainly just me and my director. Like that was our team, you know, like I was the lighting person, I was the sound person, I was the producer, I was I was
were on any film, I call it making chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Yeah.
You know, they're right. You have nothing and you have to somehow make this delicious gourmet meal that's going to appeal to, and you have to be like someone like Letters to Daniel is my life story. Like it started out as a blog, then I did a memoir, then I did a proof of concept documentary for like $345, and then I made the narrative film that that's helping me helping me punch up. So when it came time to make the movie, someone asked me, how do you feel about your whole life story and the way you talk about yourself and people being out there? What are you afraid of what they think? Understand, the blog was in 2013 and the book was in 2016. That ship had done left the dock. The horse was out of the barn, you know. It didn't matter. It didn't matter because I was telling my truth. And people respond to that. People are going to respond to my Catholic guilt, and hopefully, you know, I'm developing the feature into a TV series with the help of some AOF family, and what I think. I mean, I don't know what you want. What's your ultimate hope for my Catholic guilt?
That's a great question. One of my parents have asked me many a times what the goal is. And I think I like to think of it as twofold because I have been in advertising for so long and I understand how the world works. Like, it's like, I think in a perfect ideal world, I would love to sell it to a streaming service that more people can watch, right? Like it's already a product, and people, I think it's like short enough. It's like my first stand-up special, storytelling special, whatever you call it, right?
To be honest, I really like your film and Women's Network, and even if you don't win that distribution prize, I would recommend submitting your film to them. Like say, you know, they have paid me twice on time. So for my film, and my film had a budget of $6,000, but doesn't look like it. I punched up. It was the largest thing I had ever done. I had 9 crew members. That was more crew. Usually it was just me and one other person, to be honest with you. And I had like 30 to 40 cast go through at any given time. So, but when I did it, like you said, I learned, there was just this feel of joy. I don't know if you had that, but that feeling of pure joy, that feeling of accomplishment. I have been trying to get this movie made for 7 years. So like on the final day of filming, when we're all standing around and we're taking that, the shot where there's the slate and everybody's in the picture and everybody loves each other. Because, right. So we did have a pretty uneventful shoot, and we shot a feature film for 6,000 in 6 days.
That's amazing.
So I know what you mean. So you would like to get a streamer. Would you like a major streamer? Because I don't have those connections yet, but I'm working on it.
I think honestly, like it would be whatever the right fit is, like a women's network. I think it's very relatable to a lot of women, like, and what you go through as someone that grows up super religious, and then as you start finding yourself in the world, and what does that mean, and are you allowed to break certain rules or not? Like I had a web series before this called Guilty, and it was dealing with that. It was like my early 20s, and like, are you allowed to have sex before marriage without going to hell? Like that. Like it's like a very real thing. I think.
Look, okay, so I go to an Episcopalian church. It's like Catholic light. without all the right.
I heard that. I was like, I think maybe I'd be okay if I grew up Episcopalian.
But I also went to some non-denominational churches, like Pentecostal. Some people would say holy rollers. That always pissed me off. But I was like, when we went to Pentecostal church and I was a kid, I was super duper like fixated. And I don't know if that's because of the way the church was set up, or if it was because I had like religious ideation is a thing when it comes to mental illness. You can really get fixated, right? So like my cousin Logan one time had a psychotic break, and he thought he was the devil, and he thought he was John the Baptist. So that kind of thing happens, and I found your truth telling very refreshing, because you were like, I loved your commercial. Your Visa is it that Visa commercial?
It was a MasterCard commercial.
MasterCard commercial for church.
Yeah,
except it was for church, and I thought it was so sweet.
Assignment, right?
And I was like, I can't believe you found that. But you're younger than me, right? I'm 45. I have the benefit of growing up before Facebook, before Twitter, before all that stuff.
Yeah,
I was an adult before that stuff started happening.
Yeah.
So, but you know, if you capture it, like the video recorders of my day and age were huge. They were like these huge VHS kind of, I don't know if Dawn remembers these, but like the gigantic video recorders. Okay, so what is up next for you?
Well, so the other
world with the world opening up, what's next up?
Yeah, so like the second part of that, like, what do you want your goal out of this? Like, I really want this to be almost like a calling card for like a writer's room or a manager or someone that I would love to be in a writer's room somewhere. And I think this piece speaks to what I can offer a writer's room. You know, like, it shows my writing, it shows my performing. And so I'm thinking about coming to LA and just kind of starting to do the networking thing again, starting to do the hustle again. I would do a PA, I would do an assistant job. Like, I love being around people that are creative, and I don't want to be in advertising anymore. So
yeah, I know. From what I hear, advertising is pretty self-sucking.
Yes.
If you okay, so my favorite have you ever seen these Goldcast videos? You know, different people speaking about like motivational things, inspirational things, and they have famous people and motivational speakers, and they have one with Denzel Washington, and it's my favorite one. He goes, it's of him giving a commencement speech where he gets an honorary degree, and of course, everybody knows I have a show Monday night from 9:30 to 10:30, and that's when they want to message me.
Always.
And one thing he says is, he goes, I was 19, and I was sitting in my mom's beauty parlor, and I had a 1.7 grade point average, and I was flunking out of college. He goes, I hope nobody here can relate. You know, that's right. And a woman just kept looking at him, and he said, "You're good." And she was like, you know how some people are like, "Oh, I got a prophecy," right? And she said, "I got a prophecy." She said, "Boy, you're going to travel the world, and you're going to speak to millions of people." He goes, "Now, mind you, I'm sitting there, 1.7 GPA and flunking out of college." And he goes, "But I have traveled the world, and I have spoken to millions of people." So, you know, it just shows the first act is never the final act. And COVID, when Letters to Daniel was getting ready to make its festival run, everything shut down. And I was like, I've won these awards, but you know, it's not the same. You know, it reminds me of the Roseanne show where where John Goodman is playing Dan as an adult, DJ, and he's got the propeller beanie on his head, and he keeps repeating. They say she's the same, but she's not the same. And they show the two Beckys, the two actresses that play Becky, and it's like whenever people say, "Oh, well, you won and you got nominated," I said, "They say it's the same, but it's not the same." They say it's the same, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
So if you had someone to thank or to say they were your inspiration, who would it be? Those kind of go-casts kind of motivate me. So who would you say inspired you and motivated you?
Easy answer. My mom, hands down. She is an angel. I love her so much. She started the drama club at my grade school when I was younger. She was a big theater gal all throughout high school and college, and passed that gift on to me. And Dawn, just to keep you in the loop, my mom also has transverse myelitis, which is kind of like MS, but not as
it's like you said in the film.
So she has been, but she keeps doing drama club for all these grade schools around the Chicago suburbs, and her passion is bringing the joy of drama to all these kids and she is my ultimate director. When I have a show, we always talk about, when I used to go to do shows in real life, we always break it down. How was the audience? How did it feel? Did we try this joke? Did we try that joke? And just to have her be such a symbol of keeping going. The first act is never the final act.
Right.
She didn't let it stop her. She continues to push and put on these shows for these kids and breed new generations of drama lovers. And I wouldn't have been introduced to the stage without her. I wouldn't have this big impact and passion for speaking up for people with a disability. I get so mad because I see what her life is like, and how hard it is, and how people just don't even think twice about it. The anger I have when I see an able-bodied person walk out of a handicap stall, I'm get out of
no,
here.
I don't. That's just a no. That's
so
just a
annoying. So I'm grateful that she's let me be this voice for her, and then just to have her unconditional support with the topics that I cover in this show. It's not all lighthearted stuff like you were saying. It's more intense things, and
it's like a real balancing act that you pulled off, and I just think all credit to you.
Thank you.
I think it's natural to say mom and dad, or mom or dad, and I'm just so grateful that you gave us your time, and it's about 10 o'clock now, and if you need to get out of here.
Thank you so much for having me. This was wonderful. I really love talking to you, and I'm gonna look up all these books, Dawn. I think they're right up our family's alley.
Well, if you decide you need one, just email me.
Let me tell you about AOF real quickly before. I have had 2 anxiety attacks. One the first year I went, one the third year. Was it? Yeah. One the first year, one the third year. And it wasn't like they made me feel stupid. They came up to me, they comforted me, they made sure I was okay, they made sure I was able to recover from the physical aspects of an anxiety attack. And because one time I just burst out into tears because the anxiety was so bad. And the director and the founder of the festival, they are the ones who gifted me with the Founders Award, which was specifically a festival that honors people that heal themselves through art, who advocate through art, and that kind of thing. So I am really I'm just really honored that you submitted your film, and I hope everything works out, and I hope to see you in Vegas.
I would love that too. Let's keep our fingers crossed, guys.
Well, you get a full pass. The only thing you don't get into is the award ceremonies, and you have to pay separately for that.
You said it's like a whole dinner thing though, right? You said
Right. You get like an alcoholic beverage, a soda, and you give food, and it's individually prepared, so it's like COVID safe or as COVID safe as it can be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if everything continues to go as planned, it would be amazing to be there in person.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for being on my show,
Thank
and
you for having me. This was so fun. What a great way to start a Monday, you know?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks again. I'm gonna hop off. Have a great rest of the night.
Hi,
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, there you
Okay. So now we
Hi.
move to Dr. Don Menge and the Queen Vernita series. And we first met you last year, right before we were supposed to all meet in Vegas,
Yes.
and COVID goes, no. So,
Yes.
what have you been up to in the year since last year around this time? Because that's about the time we talked.
Yeah, last year we did it on my birthday. So it's in June. So it's been almost a year. And I'm a teacher, so when we first started, we were going to be off for 2 weeks, and that was the longest 2 weeks I've ever had. So I decided to make my time, because I was doing a lot of, in-person stuff with the kids, with my books. So I decided to get some books out. So I've gotten this one. This one was my first one, Queen Vernita's Christmas Train Ride.
I saw that.
This is my grandson, Blake. And we actually took the train from Williams, Arizona to the Grand Canyon, and then went back and rode the Polar Express. So that's what this one is, and it's pre-K to first grade. And you can see on the back, we put a picture of my whole family. There was 19 of us. And my whole series is based on my adventures, my family adventures. Queen Vernita. Vernita was my grandmother.
Yeah.
And so that's what all my series is. It's all based on the different places I've been and the different things I've done. But these are two of the books I submitted. This one, Queen Vernita meets Sir Heathy Bean the astronomer. And Sir Heathy Bean is my little brother. He's an astronomer at JPL.
Oh.
And he wanted to be the nutty professor with the hair up, and he has bunny slippers. See if I can show you. You see, he has bunny slippers. And then my books include disabilities, because I teach students who have moderate to severe disabilities. I've been doing it for 20 years. And so I want to advocate for my students. And
Obviously.
and they're actual people. So this would be, I have an assistant, or she's retired now, but she was my assistant in my classroom for 20 years. And she was my friend. And she has a foster child. And this is Jake. So Jake is in here. And I also have my student, one of my former students. See if I can find him. And he is in here. All right, this is Jeremy. And Jeremy has Down syndrome. And he was my student for, I'm going to say probably 14 years.
Wow.
And it introduces Down syndrome and Jeremy, and then just tells 7 facts about Down syndrome. So it's just a little snippet of the disability. And so if you're interested in it, or you knew someone who had it, you could go on and look up the information if you needed more information. But it's just a little snippet, so that it's just so that people understand it a little better. And then, of course, he's learning about, what is he learning about? I don't think he has a planet. So I haven't read my books in a while. But, you write them and then you do something else. And then,
yeah,
so,
and just like it's in, it's out.
Yeah. Sometimes it has to be. And then this is another one that I did. And last year, it had just come out, Queen Vernita's Volcanic Islands. And I have a childhood friend that moved to Kona, Hawaii. So when I got divorced, I went there probably every 6 months and spent a lot of time there with them. And I actually wrote 2 books about them. And this is one of them. This is the first one. Queen Vernita visits the Islands of Enchantment, and he's Sea Captain Jeff and Enchantress Carrie. And they learn all about the island. And then this is the one I had just published last year, and this is the one I submitted. And this one has Rett syndrome, and it has autism. So this little girl, Ireland, she has Rett syndrome. Ireland Ireland, and Heather is her mom. These are real people. And so it talks about Rett syndrome, and then it gives 7 facts about Rett syndrome. And in the book here, she's making lays for her class. And so they're explaining to Queen Vernita why she needs help, because she's having trouble with her muscles, and why she needs help making the lays. And then Connor was my student for several years, and Connor has autism. So in this page, Connor is talking to the Queen using his communication device, which is an iPad that talks, because he's nonverbal. So it gives you 7 facts on how he uses his communication device and why he uses it. So this is helpful, because if you see someone out and about and they're using an iPad to talk, you wouldn't know what they were doing. You would think they're just playing games or something, And so this helps you understand, what it is they're using and why they're using it. So these are the ones I actually submitted to win the Special Recognition Champion Award.
And we've gotten some submissions from you this year. Yay!
Yes.
And,
yeah.
Do you? I know that Queen Vernita is like a passion series for you.
Yes.
And it is very much it scratches that writing itch, and it also fulfills you in as being an advocate. What would you say is the most fulfilling aspect of writing these stories?
Well, beyond the fact that they're all based on my adventures, so it's a great way to go on trips. So that's one thing we did this year, which I think a lot of people did, is it brought our family closer together. Everybody's so busy, and then they stopped being so busy. So we did a lot of camping. I have 3 children. They're all grown. They're all married. I'm going to have my 6th grandchild in July. So we did a lot of camping. We went to Grand Canyon. We went to Zion. We went to the Sequoias. We've done a lot in San Diego, which are all going to be new books. But that is really every time we go somewhere, we were at the Grand Canyon, and some of us were riding bicycles on the rim of the canyon. Some of us were hiking. That's a page. Okay, that'll be a page. Okay, so I can't help it. Yeah, I can't help but think oh, okay. And so that's exciting right there, just doing that. And you were talking about what I submitted this year. So this is my newest one. And I submitted the book and the book trailer, and they were selected to be part of it. But it's not part of the Queen Vernita series. It's something different that I did. I wanted to try something different. So It's kind of a newfangled fairy tale. And it's about the king, and there's some black smoke, and it's ruining the kingdom, and he doesn't know what's happening. So it's how he finds out, and it's a lesson on being kind and not hurting other people. And
that's right.
It's based on actually something that happened to me, and the result of I was stalked.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, for several years. So it was pretty bad. Couldn't really figure out who it was, and that's kind of what the story is about. But see, now I forgot what I was going to say.
But you mentioned King Teddy Bear.
Yeah, King Teddy Bear, and then Queen Giggles, and then I won't tell you who the bad person is, but It's just about being kind and not hurting other people, and
that's a lesson we could all take today.
Yeah. But I know it's the way that I dealt with it, you know, because it had such an impact on my life, and you don't know what to do with it. I had a lot of anger, and because you can't do anything to the person. I couldn't catch them red-handed, but I knew who it was. So yeah, so the way to deal with the way that I felt, I wrote a book.
Yeah,
I actually sat in the police station talking to the detective, and he knew who it was, but he said, we can't do anything. I mean, stalking
that's amazing that when there's a stalker, right? Mm-hmm. And there's nothing you can do. In fact, there's an individual at another festival that had that deals with a man who stalks him,
Yeah.
and he's like powerless. And actually,
Right, you are.
Dr. Phil flew both him and several of the other people that this person was harassing and stalking, and the stalker, to the Dr. Phil show and interviewed them and got B-roll. And this guy who was the stalker was so disrespectful to the cast, to the crew of Dr. Phil and the producers, that he said, no, I'm not going to do the show. I'm not going to reward this kind of behavior, like and so.
Right, giving them a limelight, because that's actually what they want. They want the attention, But did he stop?
No, but the way the filmmaker processed this was he directed a movie called Nowhere Man. You can't see him, you can't touch it, right? He right?
Yeah.
And he interviewed people, and he's editing it, and now it's got a theatrical release. And he goes, listen, people, I know you're liking my post, but if you like my post or comment on it in any positive way, there stands a chance this person is gonna
you will become the target.
Yeah. So he goes, if you want me to erase you after you, right? He goes, so but he had this double tragedy, this cat that he absolutely loved, like a child, died. And then his other cat, he had 3 cats, and 2 of them died within 4 months of each other. And he was becoming suicidal, even though he had this great thing in his life. Yes. And someone put him in touch with, and his last cat was doing a downward spiral. And a fellow filmmaker in our friend network in Ohio put him in touch with a person who had a kitten, and this kitten has absolutely changed it. And right, it's so now he has this film, and that way he's kind of reclaimed his power. Yes, claimed his voice. And it's like the same thing you did with the book with what's it called?
It's called Dragon's Breath.
And it's what I did with Letters to Daniel. You use your art to kind of heal yourself, to kind of reclaim your power, to get your voice back. I'm gonna welcome John John, do you have any questions?
The expansion of the series and a breadth of topics that you touch on for your books. I think it's so cool that you're able to have a platform that exposes readers to those types of experiences.
Just to let everybody know, my producer here on Recovery Unplugged is also going to be at AOF. You want to? Yes, you.
Me, that's right. I'm going to be there. I'm giving out some awards. We have a new series coming up called the G1NBC Trailer Park. And so we're going to be interviewing filmmakers and directors and people that are submitting and showing the trailers for their films and giving out some awards there. And then I'll be at all the Letters to Daniel festivities. Might even bring my GoPro and do some interviews with people.
Wow.
So we can show them on this show after I get back. That's it.
Don, do you have anything extra you want to add? Because, you've got... So what is next on tap as a writer for you?
Well, I just sent to print a pre-K first grade book on Halama Beach. It's a yearly camping trip we go. It's on the coastline of California. So I just sent that to print today. And then I'm also working on a book out of Tucson. I used to attend the Tucson Festival of Books at the university, and I had a friend who lived there, and he introduced me to this fabulous bed and breakfast, Hacienda Linda. So if anybody wants to go there, go there and tell Linda I said hi. So we actually are making her bed and breakfast the center of the book, and it's along the Segura Desert. I always get it wrong, but we have the Tohono O'odham Indians in it, And I think it's going to be the best Queen Vernita that we have. It's going to be at least 6th grade level. So we're working on the illustrations. This is one. And right here is my friend Alvina. She's our OT therapist at school. And she's actually from India. So what we did the Festival of Lights. And then she gave us a lot of information. And then this is her family. You can see.
Ooh.
And then in their native costumes for the celebration. And so we're going to do that.
Who does the illustrations, Dawn?
She's a friend of mine. She lives down the street, actually, and I met her at a book festival I do up here in my hometown for the students. And so what she does is she actually takes people and pictures from our trips and kind of incorporates them all into one illustration. And this is another one. We rode a camel in Palm Springs, so now the camel is in Tucson. And this is on my birthday, and so we're riding the camel. And then there's, of course, an ostrich for some of the cultural stuff. And right now she's doing the illustration. There's a mission that we're working on. And so it's going to have a lot of history, a lot of culture. It's gonna be beautiful.
She's such a talented illustrator. The pages that you show from your books are so vibrant and vivid. She does a really great job.
Yeah, and she's able to take the pictures of people and make them look. This is the hostess, Linda, and it looks just like her.
Well, you know, if you take a picture of those, they take like storyboards and photography and illustrations. So I now she may not be able to enter my festival, but AOF or No Risk Beat Fest or.
I never thought of that. Okay, I'll look. Oh, and since I did yours, I did the Action on Film and I did the Hollywood Dreams, and my stuff was selected for all of that. And then now I'm getting invitations for all sorts of stuff. I just won for the Cult Film Festival out of London, and I think it was called Beyond the Curve. My book trailer for Queen Vernita Volcanic Islands won on that, was a finalist in that one. And so I just entered one in India. So it's kind of expanding.
Yeah.
So,
are you going to be at AOF too this year?
Oh yeah, I have my hotel set. I have my dinner ticket spot.
All right.
I'm ready to go. Well, maybe. I'm planning on falling down or something in front of everybody. So.
I don't plan on it, but inevitably it happens.
Well, if you plan on it, then you're not surprised when it happens.
Right.
So, anything else to add, John?
Where do we find more about Queen Vernita and her adventures?
I have a website, Dr. Dawn Menge. I have a Facebook, Dawn Menge 1. I have an Instagram, Dawn Menge, and a Twitter, Queen Vernita. And my publisher is Rushmore Press.
Okay.
Cool stuff. What's up for next week, Amy?
Next week.
Guess to be determined.
It's to be determined because I'm going to Branson this week. It may just be you interviewing me about what went down at Branson.
Okay, that sounds good.
So.
That sounds
Well,
good.
good luck.
All right,
I'll
thanks,
try to
Dawn,
get
for coming on again. Good to see you.
Oh, well, thanks for having me.
I'll see you in July.
I'm
Looking forward to
excited.
meet you in person.
You too. Bye.
All right, everyone, this is Recovery Unplugged Live. Thanks, Amy. Good job corralling the guests tonight. You all right? You ready to go to sleep?
Actually, I have to talk to Annabelle and Lorraine about what we're doing in Branson.
Gotcha.
My
All
day
right.
Look, I was up till 4 a.m, and then I went to sleep, woke up at 8, started running at 12, and I haven't stopped since. So.
Gotcha. Well, be good, everyone. We'll see you in a week. I'm going to interview Amy, Jerry Springer style.
You're going to come out.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Try to catch me howling at the moon. Try to catch me howling at the moon.
was upside down and shaking all around. There seemed no end inside. I thought I was losing. I remember what you say. You've got a place for me. Protection